Now, ladies and gentlemen, jumping. We do this every day. This is an everyday occurrence. For most people, athletes like myself, NBA bound. Anyways, today we'll be diving into the techniques. What is jumping? What is that? Why we do it? And how it works. So today, I'll be teaching you about that. Let's get right into it. Right? Okay. So this is a bit of the history behind it, you know. They would do movements such as the squat. If we think about it, dorsiflexion. Think of the legs. I gotta hold on to my helmet. See, they were jumping just like that.
Now we'll actually take a look at the actual history behind jumping. So in this photo here, it shows an ancient Greek man doing a long jump in like the first ever Olympics. The Olympics back then were used to like show like the peak male ability in like all kinds of different events. And this was like where jumping originated from. And if we're looking here, you can see that high jumping and long jumping has continued to be prominent in the Olympics and was around for decades after and is still going on now. And we'll see new athletes join and the evolution of the sport continue on. And for anyone that's unfamiliar with the term long jump, so essentially this is a long jump, you're jumping off one foot and landing as far as possible. And as well for the high jump, as you can see here, he'll go up, vertically jump up off one foot, land up here in a horizontal position, and then you'll land. So basically, you're just trying to clear the bar as high as possible. Now, if we're looking at a sport like basketball, where jumping has been around for years in the sport, and even the evolution of dunking as a whole, like these are some old clips from old dunkers back then, and then we got Zach LaVine in this. The evolution of dunking has gone so far, and athletes as a whole in the sport of basketball have continued to reach new limits and are jumping higher than anyone else could ever think. All right, we'll look into more of the human anatomy part of jumping and how it kind of works. So we'll be looking at the major muscle groups for jumping. So first one we have here is the quads. And the quads are used for that power for when you lift off the foot, or if you're jumping off 2 feet and you get in that squat, it helps load and produce that power for the upward momentum. So for jumping, when you're thinking of momentum and the power source, just think of the quads. So next we have the calf muscle, which is responsible for launching you off the ground after that load from the quad. So you're launching yourself using dorsiflexion, and dorsiflexion is when your foot is facing upwards. So that's when you're going and you're running and then you stop and then you get your foot raised up. And then plantar flexion is when you're jumping off the ground and then your toes are facing down to the ground and then you're launching yourself. So the calf muscle is that main power source for your takeoff and your jump. So next up we have the glutes. So the glutes may not look as important as the quads and the calf, but they're actually still really important because they still develop the speed and acceleration for your jump. And having strong glutes can help you jump higher and overall support your legs in the jumping motion. And now we're going to be looking at the abdominal muscles. Now, these might get overlooked in jumping, but these are really important to work, as engaging your core in your jump can help you jump higher and overall improve your performance. And having a really strong core really helps absorb contact, like especially when you're going in for like a dunk in basketball, you got to keep stable and balanced. So having a nice strong core can really help with these contact layups and dunks. Now that's pretty much it for the anatomy part, or for like basic anatomy for jumping. Now we're going to get into something different, kind of like technique-wise and kind of how that works. Now, one of the most important parts, other than running like technique-wise for getting into that jump, would be arm swing. Arm swing is what builds that momentum. Even like if you're playing basketball and you have the ball in your hand and you're able to swing your arms so much, you are still able to bring that momentum with the ball up, and that still involves your arms and the momentum from that. Now, after talking a little bit about momentum and kind of how it works in a jump, we're going to be talking about fast twitch muscles and how they're super important for getting that explosiveness off the ground and launching yourself as fast as possible. A really good example for fast twitch muscles would be jump roping. And jump roping really helps your explosiveness and your speed, agility, and many other things. And a fast twitch muscle would be anything that is in short bursts. So like what we're talking about here is jumping. So jumping, you're quickly moving off the ground and launching yourself. And that would be an example of a short burst. Or if you're doing in the gym, you could be doing Olympic weightlifting, like a clean and jerk, where acceleration is the main key thing. So your fast twitch muscles in your upper body would be helping that bar move up fast and then above the head. All right, now we're going to get into more jumping technique-wise, like 1 foot jumps, 2 foot jumps, and kind of how they affect your legs and which one would be more effective. So let's get right into it. All right, we're going to be starting off with the one-legged jump. This is probably the most common one in sports. You'll see it in basketball, you'll see it in high jump, and you'll even see it in long jump. And this type of jump, I honestly find is harder on my shins and my knees, as there's more pressure since it's just one leg you're jumping off of, and you're still trying to maintain that same height and the same vertical, which can be a lot harder on these muscles and ligaments. And one common thing that a lot of athletes get and absolutely hate because it just ruins everything is shin splints. So here's a couple diagrams that just show where the pain is. So it's right on that shin bone. It's on the side usually, or it can be up towards the middle. And this is a very, very common sports injury, especially if you play every single day and you're practicing and jumping or running. This can overall cause the shin and the bone inside or the muscle tissue to create a stress fracture because of it. And luckily, there's ways to recover from this. Stretching is a really good one as it helps alleviate pain and helps stretch and loosen that muscle and any tightness that would be with that. And rolling out that muscle is very, very good, and I would highly recommend if you have this pain. Compression sleeves are really good as they help circulate and create more blood flow, which can help alleviate pain and ultimately can be a really good decision for your shin splints. So for anyone that hasn't had any shin splint pain, basically this is you before practice and then this is you after. It's not a good feeling. Now that's the one thing I hate about 1 foot jumping is that it honestly makes shin splints a lot worse than 2 foot jumping. So that's one of the cons for it. But it can also be a lot faster coming off the dribble and just going into that 1 foot jump instead of just jumping off 2. So that's another pro. Now we're getting into my favorite type of jump, which is the 2 foot jump, which I find I can get up higher, and a lot of people can also get up higher because there's more load to it. So let's get into it. Jumping off 2 feet, I find I have more control over it. So in this clip here, it's off 2, and then he gets on the rim and hangs on it. But the way that he drops, he's got way more control than if he was jumping off 1 foot and then you have to land immediately. Jumping off 2 feet is honestly a lot safer and can help protect athletes' knees, and landing in that quarter squat position can really protect those knees, ligaments, and other muscles that can cause injuries or stress fractures like we talked about with the shin splints. And myself and many other athletes recommend jumping this way and landing in the proper position since you want to protect your body and keep longevity. Now let's get a quick interview from Liam Wallace. All right, what do you know about jumping?
Bro, I know that you gotta get off the ground and use those arms, you know?
What else do you know?
I know to dunk, you know, I gotta jump, so you gotta jump high. Same, like, you gotta run fast, you can't be, like, super slow.
Thank you, Liam Wallace.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Sadly, this must come to an end, but we made it. Hopefully, you learned something about jumping and you can apply it to your real life athletics or plyometrics. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate it. Have a good one.